हेलो हेलो। लॉन्ग टाइम नो सी ऐसा नहीं बोलूँगा, बट अ न्यू स्टार्ट। हम लोग फुटबॉल लेके कुछ करना चाह रहे थे। व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू इन दिस टुडेज वीडियो इज वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस, हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे बड़े बड़े यूरोपियन क्लब्स का इशू क्या है। एंड कुछ कुछ क्लब के जैसे जिन्होंने टी शर्ट पहना उन क्लब का ज़्यादा इशू हो सकता है। एंड कुछ क्लब्स जिसका टी शर्ट मैंने नहीं पहना है उसके इश्यूज थोड़े कम हो सकते हैं। लेट्स स्टार्ट। The first club obviously is Manchester United. Let's start here. Let's start. What do you think are the major issues, and maybe we dive into it.
And this is me very personally. Others might disagree on the first point, but I think currently our biggest problem is our manager. You cannot win so few games. He has been a manager for now almost a year. Almost a year. I think he
Almost.
was appointed in November sometime last year. So it's been almost a year that he has been appointed in. Our points tally from when he started to now is one of the lowest ever in the Premier League. The worst of the relegated teams is point tally is getting compared with ours. So that all proves how everything has gone.
On the first point that you brought up, manager being the biggest problem. I don't know whether he's the biggest problem or not, but he is at least up there with,
Up
with
there,
being the
definitely.
yeah. If 30 to 40 games is not an indicator that your system does is not presently working, I'm not saying that you cannot ever play this system. You can go back to this system. Once you start winning, you fall back to your system. But you've just not won enough matches. Like I heard a person say, and I completely agree with him, कि ओले के टाइम बुरे दिन आए थे, टेनहाग के टाइम आए, सबके टाइम आए, मोरिनियो, वेनल, सबके टाइम बुरे दिन आए। कभी 17 वाले बुरे दिन नहीं आए थे, 16, 17, 15 वाले बुरे दिन नहीं आए थे।
So surely it's also an indicator that your system does not work. Let's be honest. At this moment, it's not working. Yes, Glasner plays. Yes, Inter Milan plays 3-5, but for them it is working. They have found a way to make it work. And more than formation, you look out of ideas in the matches. It's not like कि apart from the Arsenal match, I don't think so. कोई match में ऐसा लगा कि oh you were hard done by. It was not. You were not hard done by in any of the matches.
It doesn't matter what formation you play. There are a few basics of football, like Mourinho used to say right. Your team has to be compact. The distance between your midfield and attack and midfield and defense should not be high. You should not be overrun in midfield. There are a few basic concepts of football which we don't see it happening. We have been always outrun in the midfield.
One thing is the tactical system, another thing are principles of play. And there are principles of play that they have to be permanent. And one of them, and if, let's laugh a little bit, when you remember your Uncle Rafa on the touch line, he was always doing this, right? What Rafa wants to do when says to the pitch, he was always this. Well, compact. Nowadays, you look to the good teams, and all the good teams, they defend compact. Higher block, lower block. The lower block is more defensive, the higher block is more offensive, is more aggressive, but always in a block. So there are principles of play that doesn't have to do with the system you play. It's just a basic principle. You have to defend compact. Like
Yes, and I think the next has been transfers. Last season, I think the transfer were still made sense. My problem this season was if you sign Mbuemo and Cunha, you don't keep Bruno then, or you don't sign one of them, or you play 4-3-3. One of the three has to happen. One of them had to happen. The second problem in my transfer is you could not sell Sancho, you could not sell Rashford, you could not get, if you don't sell those players, you don't get another extra player in, which could have been another extra midfield player or another any position which you find is a pro. Yeah, you could not sell.
Is loaned down.
So if you can't sell your reserve, like for example, Nkunku has been horrible for 2-3 seasons. He went to AC Milan for a decent chunk, and they have some clauses in. But I'm saying, are we saying let's compare Højlund and Nkunku. For in 2 seasons, Højlund has been better than Nkunku.
He has scored more goals than Nkunku. He has played more than Nkunku. He has been fit, and he is a much younger player than Nkunku.
And yet,
So I
one got
feel we
sold.
are not just able. We are never able to sell players. We struggled with Sancho throughout the season. Sancho and Anthony were sold almost towards the deadline day. Sorry, I think Sancho is a deadline day sell to Aston Villa. So we do not sell. And second problem is we cannot buy cheap players. I think in the last 4 5 seasons, the only value for money buy was with Mazraoui for 12 to 15 million. Rest all of our signings are all 40, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million. We
Or
don't find
Ericsson for free.
cheap players. Sorry.
Or Ericsson for free.
Ericsson for free. So that's why we are not able to buy, we are not able to unearth like hidden gems, and we always buy the big players, the flashy ones, spending way more money than we actually should.
I think that is a very good point in terms of you're trying to be Man City where you should have looked into Liverpool's playbook. Their success came from the back,
This season, not
not
this season.
not season, the
Previous ones.
the Klopp era, the starting of Klopp era, because the problem you're facing is what Liverpool faced before Klopp era, just not able to crack it. He what it was, got in Salah and Mane combined. I think 60 to 70 million they were brought in. Firmino was before Klopp, but he made him a better player. And then similarly, when he did not have money, he brought players like Klavan and all just to make the second team. But where is that happening for? Well, Andy Robertson. Surely, even if you don't agree him, well, even if he is not the best left back in Premier League history, he's surely up there in the top 3 left backs in Premier League history.
Top 5 at least.
Yeah, so I think that's the second problem. Any other issues that you see with Manchester United?
I will go and I feel that United have lost its soul. How the management has dealt with things in and around United is something which we miss. Basic example, we have fired people left, right, and center saying that we don't have money. We are not able to pay 2 million a year to our greatest manager ever, who made United the brand it is. We are not able to pay him 2 million a year. But similarly, just in the next transfer window, we are slashing more than 200 million. There are
The priorities are clear. Feeding people who work for you for generation is not as important as showing the so-called everyone in the world that we still have the pool is more important.
like basic things like there is no food for the under 21s and team and all. They only get a sandwich. Managers and the coaching staff have to bring their own food. If you are stooping down to that level where you're not able to manage a club at that basic level, and then you go out spending 200 million, that is disaster. Manchester United used to stand for family. I know Sir Alex Ferguson used to send a car every day, every match day to London just to get one player, one old lady into so that she can watch a match. From there to what we have stooped down to, I feel the soul is lost. This sometimes feel like not the United I resonated with.
And
Mo-
I think that is also uh, tough to watch for you because it is not putting salt on your wounds, but it's tough to watch also because I think in that period of time, Liverpool have shown that they do have the soul, and they've shown if not anything they've shown character in every such issue that they have faced, whether it's paying Jota out, his family out, whether it was when Ronaldo's child had died and they did in the 7th minute. So whatever that is, I'm saying ki, yeah, it is sad to see the soul is not there, but I think there is a problem with a lot of major football clubs at this moment.
we do not have a solid midfield also. Midfield is a big problem in current United team.
I,
We
I,
our What I'm saying is our first choice three midfielders. I'm not considering Bruno a midfield because he's much more of a forward player. He wants to play in the number 10 role. I'm saying more of a CDM or a CM who can be. We have Maino, Casemiro, and Ugarte. Casemiro is way past his prime. Maino is a very young player who is coming up. Ugarte, except for maybe a defensive duty, is horrible on the ball. So you don't have a midfield also. If you want to play a 4-3-3 formation, in your three, if let's say it is Casemiro, Maino, and who?
Bruno.
Bruno. So Casemiro, Maino, and Bruno. That is again, I'm saying one who has lost his legs, one who is very young. That is a very big problem also.
But
You
I
don't
think
have.
at 4-3-3 that's the best team you have if you want to play 4-3-3. And I think this.
No, no, I'm not saying that's a bad team. I'm saying is that's a very worrying team. A top team should not have that midfield.
Yeah, because you bought two players in Mbuemo and Cunha, where you could have replaced one and brought another in the midfield, and that could have been your.
Correct.
Yeah.
One is this, and second thing is with Bruno, you want to play Bruno in camp. You also want to play Mount in camp. You want to play Cunha in camp. You want to play Mbuemo, four players. Doesn't make sense.
Matlab, I'm saying it would have made sense if you are creating a backup for every position, but your first 11 is not good enough to create backup.